Hey Anders, what's going on, man? We're on the unconscious edge where we talk about problems in business and the underlying mental blocks that's causing them. So if there's something that I can help you out with, I'm here to support you in that and just let me know what's going on and we'll dig into it.
Oh, I was really just curious, man. I read the title, like, I got a notion. Let's see what this is.
Yeah, every business problem starts in the mind. So if you let me know what's going on, we can figure out exactly what the source is and uncover the solution.
Sure, man. I'm a closer. I suppose my biggest weakness right now, I guess, is probably training hard enough to master my script.
Okay. How's that been, I guess, how's that a problem for you? Like, what's the actual problem? That you're not training hard enough or there's not enough time to train? Like, tell me more about
Oh,
that.
t there is time. I'm currently in the military, and I mean, of course, when I'm out in the field, I can't train, right? But like when I get
Yeah, yeah.
home, I do have the time, right? So. It's more like spending those 20 minutes just repeating the script over and over again. It's like I don't know, I like to know the outcome before I do something. Um, and I guess that's holding me back.
Gotcha. So just, I guess, question around that in terms of the outcome.
Hmm.
What's the outcome specifically that you're looking for before you do this?
Well, I want to know it works, I guess. Which, you're not gonna know unless you do it. You need to do it a million times.
I'll say like, how do you know you like something if you don't try it first, in terms of food or if you've, done things
Yeah,
in other aspects, like you can't know until you actually do it. So,
yeah. Like I have been thinking about it, and the cool thing in the military is they make you do it, and that's why you do the things, right? Well,
hmm
when it's all by yourself, it's like there's no one to lean on if you do it wrong or right. So it's like, am I doing it right? Because you could do it wrong a million times as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's like it's a silly notion because at least go to the next coaching call and say, yeah, okay, you did it 1,000 times, you did it wrong, whatever. Let's leave it there.
Well, that comes back to like thinking of data. So
Yeah.
if you're testing scripts, you're testing, let's say new points in your script. Are we
Mhm.
measuring the results? So that's something I would ask is like, do you have measured results for everything that you're doing?
Yeah, I've actually been setting it up.
Okay. So you're getting the feedback. So so we know what we need to do. We have the feedback that we need.
Hmm.
So then what's missing for you?
That's a hard one.
And the other thing I would think on is like, what are you doing instead?
Getting distracted, side questing.
Okay. Well, where are the side quests taking you?
Um, it's like not focusing as hard as I should. When you like read the same line, try to do it 50 times, like eventually you're saying it, but you're not thinking about it. And you start
hmm
thinking about something else. You don't do it as well as you should be doing it.
Gotcha, gotcha. So distracted in the mind, so you're not focused on what you're actually doing, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Prior to going into these moments where you find yourself distracted, can you identify a feeling that arises right before? Like if you think back to the last time that this happened,
Yeah. I mean, it was yesterday. It was more like it felt like a chore, I guess.
say that again, it felt like a what?
Like a chore, like something you have to do. Like, you have to clean your room. It's like, ugh, okay, I'll at least try and get it done.
Gotcha, gotcha. So there's like a resistance. What would you call it? Resistance that you're forcing yourself to do?
Yeah, I get called that. Yeah.
So what would empower you to do it?
That was a good one.
So think of like this concept of force destroys, power builds. Right.
Hmm.
So anytime you're forcing yourself into something, especially mentally, there's going to be a resistance.
Yeah.
So one of the things, just thinking of your specific situation, is can you identify within what is that intrinsic motivator? Like, what's the outcome that's going to pull you? Like, so power is going to pull you forward, whereas forces, we're trying to push through something. But mentally, if we're forcing ourselves to do something we don't want to do, we're going to have that resistance.
Yeah.
When it comes to the mind, unconscious mind does not want to be forced into anything. So if you can take a second to think for yourself, like what would it need to happen to reframe that so it's not a force, but it's empowering?
I might be off here, but I'm thinking identity. If I think like this is what the number one sales rep does, and I am the number one sales rep, so of course I'll do it.
There you go.
Yeah. Best version of myself will do it. What
Well,
I'm trying to do now, and I feel like I'm gaslighting myself, but like I'm doing it, I'm not just not doing it as well as I want to.
so in those moments, one of the ways that you can do this for yourself instead of like having
Yeah.
someone point it out to you, because you don't always have that opportunity, is asking questions. Like actually
Mm.
stopping and like so before you get distracted, that's not before you get distracted, but when you get distracted and you start to go and lean into this other direction,
Yeah.
is trying to take a second and literally just pause and like, why am I doing this? Will this
Mm.
other distraction give me the outcome that I want? And then once you answer those questions, you can then follow it up with, how can I change the way I'm approaching this to make it more enjoyable for me? Because sitting down and let's say rereading lines and things like that, it might be torture for you, but there's a different
Yeah.
way you could go about it. And thinking of the group that you have here, there's
Hmm.
like 900 people that you could reach out to and say, hey, who wants to role play?
Yeah.
Much more engaging to role play with someone and get experience, and then you're getting that immediate feedback you're talking about. And you can even frame that in your mind. It's not so much of the work and forcing yourself into it, you're connecting with other people. So you see how like we take this task that we have to do and we can reframe it into something more enjoyable. So that might not be the answer like to connect with other people for you, but identifying what's the way that I can reframe this to approach it in a more enjoyable way.
Yeah.
And it starts with those questions. That make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
And then if you keep digging deeper, what you want to try to uncover is like, what's the underlying belief around this?
Mm.
Right? Because your beliefs are going to dictate your thoughts are going to dictate your actions dictate your habits, and your habits dictate your results. So
Yeah.
what is that going down layer and like layers and layers? Like why do I have this resistance? What's the belief that I hold around it? And I'm guessing that it probably comes from your past experience you talked about being forced,
Yeah.
right? So what you want to start to do, if and this might take some time, is like separating yourself from that past experience and that belief system that was installed
Hmm.
and understanding it doesn't have to carry over into this. Like what was created in that environment doesn't need to exist in this environment over here.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
Is that making sense? Like giving you something to think about here?
It's like hard thing putting a word to it. I guess like creating maybe like an alter ego. I don't know if I used the term correct there, but yeah, like separating that experience to my new experience. Like those are two different things for me.
Yeah, essentially, like, so this comes back to like understanding value systems, and when you
Yeah.
exist inside of an environment that holds a certain value system, that gets put over you. So if you're in an environment that is very strict and it's disciplined and it's like follow the rules, don't ever question the rules, like just do
Yeah.
it, like do it to a T exactly as it's said, it's very hard for you to be, let's say, free in that environment. Like an entrepreneur can't exist there. So
Yeah.
it feels like you're being constrained, which I'm guessing you don't like. I don't like to be constrained.
I mean, there's
So
safety in it, but it's safety isn't good.
yeah, so now we're in this new environment that we need this freedom. But every time we go into this task, it feels like we're being constrained back in the same system. That makes sense? Like how like mentally that can be translated.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So again, going through asking those questions and you can start to uncover some of these like more clear answers for yourself. Then you can start to shift that thinking to understand that, hey, we're in a new environment now. And it's like literally this is retraining your brain. It's like we're not existing in that place that we're put into a box and must exist in this box. We have stepped out of the box and now we're over here. And in this environment, we have more freedom in how we interpret, perceive, and then go about actually taking action. Making sense on all that?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Helpful in like thinking through it that way?
It is, yeah. The hard part is like over time, how do I adopt it? Because it's like one thing to like,
Hmm.
repeatedly tell yourself something and trying to like embed the identity by telling you are one thing. It's another thing to like feel you're the thing. You get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and that's where like it's not like it needs to be like I don't like to use the word, but like embody it. Like it needs to be
Yeah.
true. Like, and that's why I don't want you to think of like an alter ego because then that's not necessarily like the truth of yourself in terms of when it comes to identity. It's like I need to put on this
Mm.
mask or I need to put on this armor or cloak or whatever you want to call it to
Yeah.
become this alter ego. Where what we're looking for from what we've talked about here is like we want to shed this shackling system that we feel when we get put into certain activities or tasks. So by shifting that perception over time, you will start to begin to embody it, or it will become a certainty to you. It's not like you're not just telling yourself this, you know it to be true.
Okay. Okay.
That makes sense how we like you get there over like it's gonna take time. It doesn't just happen in overnight, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's you gotta work on it over time, yeah.
But like again, like your brain was trained or your mind was trained into the way that it thinks now,
Yeah.
and it's very possible to train it to think differently. All you need to
Yeah.
do is to provide the input into your mind so it understands this new thought process. And the way that you can help speed that up is with proof. Proof from yourself when you have the outcomes to show it, but also looking
Hmm.
around at the different individuals in your environment and using those proof pieces as well. Make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
All right. I would love to if you go through this process, I'd love to hear back. Like let me know in the group or message me or like come back on and let me know how it goes. But like
Hmm.
that's conceptually what we want to look at is how do we reprogram mind into understanding this new way of behaving that it doesn't feel as though it's being constrained or forced into it, but it's actually an enjoyable process.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah. No, it makes sense actually. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Um,
Cool.
Chris, I think you're on second, so let me know what issues or problems you have going on, personal, professional, and we dig
Yep.
into the mental aspect of it and uncover some possible solutions for you.
Ah, perfect. First time here, so yeah, good to meet you, Ryan. I saw it, yeah. So I think like unconsciously, I think what happens to me a bit, like if things aren't going well, then I have a lot of self-doubt with, you're not good enough, you'll never get to that level, and have those few demons in the mind, which I want to try and be able to control better and be able to project more of that success. Because as you even have in the thing, make success inevitable. And I do try and stay on that mind. Like even today. I had a really good first call with somebody on Friday. The follow-up was booked today, and I thought, oh, okay, this guy's definitely going to sign. Half an hour before the meeting, got an email. No, we're not going to do it. And then all that sort of starts spiraling out. So sort of wanting to work on best way moving forward to then not have that affect me as such.
Gotcha. So the first thing I think of in this is going back to something I talked about in a couple of trainings ago. If you go back
Hmm.
through the recordings, but we'll touch on it here is understanding that like you are not your outcome,
Hmm.
meaning that like the outcome of the sale does not dictate anything about you as a person. So like the training was talking in that one we talked about how it relates to like fatherhood. Like
Yeah.
the individual believed that because I wasn't closing the sales that I wanted, I'm not a good father now. Right? So those two things are completely unrelated. But
Hmm.
our mind will attach them together because there is some congruency between them that I must be a provider, and if I'm not achieving, then I'm not providing.
Hmm.
But you can still be providing if you're not closing that one sale. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah. That
So,
makes sense.
so in the situation here that you're talking about is identifying like why. it's like it's digging down and asking these questions of like, why is this affecting me so much?
Mm.
What is it that like what is it that I'm afraid of? Tends to be a fear.
Yeah.
What is it that I am excited for? And the other side of it, we want to look at the reverse.
Hmm.
So you can compare and contrast the way that you're approaching these things. And essentially, we want to change our unconscious drivers.
Yeah.
So if we like sometimes a strategy in business is that we beat ourselves up to push ourselves forward.
Yeah.
So if that tends to be a strategy, we want to identify where am I triggering this strategy? Like, hey, if I'm not getting the sale, and like if I want to achieve an outcome and I'm not getting what I want, do I beat myself down in order to try to build myself up? And
Hmm.
if we can identify that that's happening, we change the initial strategy point, which there's stuff that you have like I guess you have to work with an individual to help like truly reprogram the unconscious of how this happens. But you can
Yeah.
do this habitually by literally making a shift. Tony Robbins talks about like shift through movement. So if
Hmm.
you find yourself after a sales call or after interaction where you're spiraling down, change your state. Like
Hmm.
change your state physically will change it mentally and emotionally. So those are just some like little things that you can put in play to get out of those places when they occur.
Hmm.
But the overarching understanding that needs to happen in the mind is that the outcome of this interaction does not at all define me in any way. And that is a very difficult thing to jump to right away,
Yeah.
which is where having these proof pieces, like I was just talking about with Anders, like what are the proof pieces you have for yourself? And one of the things I used to recommend for my employees is like keeping testimonials, keeping results, like screenshots, whatever it is. So in those moments when you're not feeling like yourself, you can go back and remind yourself of who you are.
Mm.
Make sense overall?
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely makes sense. Yeah.
Questions that you have on that, like to dig deeper, or you got enough stuff to go with right now?
I mean, definitely like, I think it's good advice. Like, yeah, what am I afraid of? But then I should, yeah, definitely reverse it on the excited. I mean, it is something I was trying to do either way because, I had done training in the past. I've just recently joined with Matt because I just got on a new offer. And it was funny because I'd seen Matt's school and I always liked Matt from his YouTube. And I thought, well, the moment I get on a new offer, I'm going to join his program. So I got on an offer and then joined straight away, like no negotiating.
Mhm.
And then, so it's a new offer. And then, there's obviously in your mind about that pressure of, oh, you need that performance and, unless they won't think you're any good and then they get rid of you. So then I wanted to try and then, yeah, I did. I was a bit disappointed after that particular thing happened, but then I was thinking, okay, but don't disappoint in yourself. Go back, keep training, keep watching the videos, and then go back and even see where you could have done things potentially differently, but then keep it as a positive side of it rather than a negative outcome.
Yeah, like and then like so new offer.
Yeah.
Anytime you do something new, what's most likely going to happen?
Yeah. There's going to be mistakes and errors and
Yeah,
problems.
so
Yeah.
and this is where like separating the objective nature of it, that it's not to say you're just okay with not performing.
Hmm.
It's separating the difference between performance results or performance standards and identity standards.
Hmm.
Like your performance doesn't dictate who you are as a person. Those are two very
Yeah.
separate things. So it's going through with an objective lens and looking at, okay, here's where I missed this. Here's where I could have done better here. And next time I'm going to improve.
Yeah.
If you're consistently doing that over time, you're going to separate those two worlds. And you can show up and you can just do your thing, but
Hmm.
the outcome of that is not affecting who you are.
Yeah.
So does that make sense? Like the objectivity versus the subjective?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Like, so that's one of the biggest things is like just understanding that, hey, it's a new thing. I'm not going to be the best at first. Here's what I'm going to do to implement better strategies or to improve myself. Here's how I'm going to measure the results so I can track it and know that I'm getting there.
Mm.
And by nature of doing that, you are proving the story of who you are in a positive way. Like
Yeah.
if you're just not doing well and you continue to not do well and do nothing to improve it, it's
Hmm.
only going to build that story negatively.
Yeah.
So anytime you go through a review of this, when it comes to sales, is like identify, like you said, positive and negative. Here's what I
Mm.
could have done better. Here's what I've done really great.
Yeah.
That will stop yourself from going down the negative, 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 negative. And overall, one of the first trainings I did, it talks about the spiral sales method and the
Hmm.
idea of compression and expansion and how that relates to mind. If we're continuously spiraling ourselves downward, it is going to end up consistently resulting in a bad pattern because we are
Mm.
not releasing the pressure. But we just keep putting more pressure, putting more pressure. And if you have more pressure, you can't think. And if you can't think,
Mm.
then you can't perform.
Yeah.
So by taking this time and having an objective review, it allows you to release some of that pressure. And again, the first time you do it, it's not going to be like a huge thing, but over time, you're going to release more of the pressure, more of the pressure, more of the pressure to where you can get off the sales call if it didn't go well and you can just go about your day. Like you're going to have your review, but then you're going to go about your day. It's not going to get carried with you all day long.
Yeah.
Make sense on this?
No, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it was something I was consciously thinking of where I can't let it take it too personally because then the moment I get on the next call, yeah, I'm going to have that even more pressure on myself. Oh, you messed up that last call. You can't afford to mess this one up. And then if I've already got those things sort of talking in my mind, you're just not going to go well, really.
hmm Yeah, yeah. Like so, even before your calls, you can reframe that for yourself again.
Yeah.
Like, here's like, this is why I'm showing up on this call. This is who this person is. Here's the stuff that I want to help them with and serve them on. And it has
Yeah.
nothing to do with past performance.
Yeah.
Like, how do we get like, think of this from an energetic standpoint.
Mm.
If mind is energy, then if we're spending all of our time thinking about what happened or we're worried about what we're going to do, all of our energy is going this way. It's going
Yeah.
away. Whereas if you can get yourself into that present moment of right now, you're going to be there with all of your mental energy to perform.
Yeah.
So that little reminder and bringing yourself to a present state prior to your call is going to avoid the misdirection of the mind.
Yeah. Okay.
Make
I
sense?
think that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. I think that's something I'll work on for now. Just reframe my mind, take like 5, 10 minutes before the call and then focus energy on that.
Perfect. Yeah, let me know how it goes.
Wonderful. Yep. Appreciate it, Ryan.
Yeah, my pleasure. Autumn, I see you got your hand raised. What can I help with today?
Yes, Ryan. So I think I'm just acclimating to this new space because the previous sales training I did was just a cohort of all women. And so there's some things that I want to talk to you about. I just feel nervous because it feels harder to be vulnerable in this space.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll let you know that it's a safe space. So I hope that dissipates some nerves. Like this, I guess the point of this conversation is vulnerability, and what we're talking about when it
Yes.
comes to the mind. So feel free to share whatever you need to share, and I'm here to support.
Thank you. And I observed that in the call, so that's why I got brave to speak up.
Mhm.
So in my last sales coach, there's I've just a little context. I started my sales journey in B2B door-to-door sales
Okay.
and transitioned into the online space, and it's just been the wild west for me. It's really
Yes.
different than like traditional, just I don't know, going to a sales organization that has physical brick and mortar and whatever. So my first two like online sales jobs have been with startups, like kind of one woman shows.
hmm
And one thing that my sales coach remarked on, she was like, after the second one that I got, she was like, Autumn, how is it that you got yourself into another sales job with no structure and you're solving the business owner's problems? Like you should just be there to sell. So I don't even know. Like, I'm not even quite sure, and I don't even know how I got myself into this, other than that maybe I was just really excited for the opportunity to begin in online sales. And What else is there to say? I mean, I have an opportunity that I interviewed for, and I went through 4 rounds of interviews, and I should hear back from them um, maybe sometime this week. But it's definitely miles away from my first 2 online sales jobs. Like they have their script dialed in, they have a sales manager. I mean, it's a lot more organized. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm wondering this myself. Like, is what is it within me? I'm wondering that maybe I guess feel safe without structure.
Hmm. I think one, I think that's a great question to ask. Two, I'm not the one to provide you the answer, but I have some questions I'd
Hmm.
like to ask you that hopefully can help open up some ideas to that. So the first question I would ask is, what do you value? What did you value most about the two job opportunities? Or like you said, your sales coach said that there was like, how'd you get yourself into another one of these situations? So if you can look
Hmm.
back on those scenarios, what did you value most about getting into them?
For
And
both of them, I see a common theme.
okay.
They were both ran by women, and I respected that they were business women, you know,
Mhm.
running their own thing.
Okay. Is there any other patterns that you see from those scenarios?
Um, I guess the solving the business owner's problems that like if I could show more value other than selling to these people, that maybe it could
Mm.
create an opportunity for me with them.
Okay. Why do you need to show more value than selling?
Because somewhere inside I'm not confident enough about my own sales skills.
Okay. And if we can take a little bit deeper, can you
Hmm.
identify any time in your past prior to business and outside of business in which you felt that you needed to provide more value in order to be accepted?
Hmm. Yeah, I would say, I mean, that goes back to my family of origin
Hmm.
and the things I experienced as a child. I've been working with my therapist, so I'm not going to use this as a therapy session, but what I've uncovered with my therapist is that I've experienced parentification and handling adult interpersonal issues at a young age. So I felt like if I could provide the value aside from just being a daughter, right? Of like making everyone work together, everyone's copacetic, they understand each other from like the age of 5 up until now. I'm kind of releasing that, even though I'm still
Hmm.
doing it. I think that's where it started.
So if I could ask, I guess another question around that. It sounds, and let me know if this lands. If I can make
Mm.
everyone else happy or safe, then I can be safe or I can be
Yes.
valued. Like, right?
Yes.
So now taking that and translating it into like performance is think of it this way. Like if you're spending a lot of mental energy focused on that, where can you not spend mental energy on? Right?
Myself.
Hmm. So then what would it take for you to put that mental energy into yourself versus others?
Mm. I suppose reconditioning my thought process or my mind to not focus on trying to.
So take it even deeper. What's the belief?
Hmm.
And it's okay if you don't have it right here, but like underlying all that, there is an inherent belief, and you've already identified
Hmm.
most of it that's coming from that past. And like one, thank you for sharing that, and I can relate to that experience in my own life. So I very much understand that struggle in the incessant feel, or I guess the incessant desire to do that in order to be accepted. So if we can just jump all
You
the
mean
way
like to
to,
solve problems and people's issues?
yeah,
Hmm.
like yeah, to
Hmm.
constantly be the answer. Like I need,
Oh
to be
yeah.
to be the solution.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what would it like, trying to think of the best way to word this of what would it take for you to be, let's say, comfortable with not always being the solution?
I think at this point, Ryan, it's just getting to the point where it's like the pain of how long I've always, you know, attempted to be the solution in various arenas in my life. It the pain is what it's taking for me to actually shift that. And of course my own self-work, like going to my therapist weekly and us,
Mhm.
uncovering these things and also getting help, through here. I'm starting to notice that um if I don't work on myself psychologically, I'm not going to be as good at sales as I want to, because I won't, if I can't understand myself, how am I going to understand a prospect and why they're so afraid to change?
Yeah, beautifully said. And that's exactly why I do this training is because underneath every issue is a mental issue. And I don't even call it an issue, but there's a belief, there's a value system, there's something that occurred that it causes you to behave a certain way. And you're right, if you don't understand you, it's impossible to understand somebody else. So,
Hmm.
like, it sounds like you do understand you. So
Yeah.
if we can make some actionable things, what are like in the ways that you can think about this is even just boundaries.
Hmm.
So what are some personal boundaries that you can set for yourself so that way you don't find yourself in that same circumstance? And that's a way to kind of leap forward in making some changes that doesn't have to be like this constant action, but it's almost just a small boundary that you put in place that, hey, I'm not going to get involved if this is the scenario. Like I'm only going to
Mm.
be doing within my skill set. Like I am not
Yeah, and
responsible for other people, like can you identify anything that you'd be able to put in place for yourself?
yeah, I see it. What's coming to mind right now when you said that is just noticing the pattern in my sales conversations where I'm adept at really connecting with someone emotionally and being nurturing towards them. But in Coach Laura's classes, she says when you do that, you just get them to the point of desire, and desire does not catalyze a change.
Hmm.
So the boundaries that I could have in on my professional side of things and the personal, which are interconnected, um, is understanding what is mine to solve and what is up to the individual to solve themselves, and for them
Perfect.
to
Yeah.
take agency for the change they want to create, like not me being so emotionally attached to seeing I don't know, it's almost as, now that I say that, it's almost as if I'm taking their agency away by trying
Hmm.
to force a change.
Yeah. And in sales, that kills the sale. Is if
Mhm.
like if you're solving something for them before they even get the chance to solve it, they don't ever get over that next point.
Yes. Mhm.
Makes sense on all of this? Helpful so far too?
Yes. Yes, it has been helpful, Ryan. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I mean, if there's anything else that like that comes up, obviously feel free to message me. Um, I would recommend, I know you're already seeing someone, but I would recommend my book. I wrote a book about like navigating these parts, uncovering them, and like reintegrating everything. So that way you don't feel that push and pull in different directions. So if you're
Mhm.
interested in that, I will drop a link in the chat.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
yeah, my pleasure. It is, I would say it is written in the frame for entrepreneurial men, but this conversation it will very much apply to.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it sounds like you've got a really clear understanding so far of who you are and how these things came about. And it's just now putting in some small boundaries so that way you stay within this new lane. Because again, you're used to playing out in here, and we want to
Right.
just bring it right back in, which takes time.
Yeah,
So
bringing the energy back in, recentering
mhm.
into my own core,
Yep.
sounds
And
like.
it plays and it plays a lot into some of the conversations we've already had today and on some of the past trainings of like understanding that your identity of who you are is not dictated by the sale outcome or whether or not you solve a problem.
Mm. Hmm. Yeah, I guess that's a really big thing for business people and salespeople alike,
Hmm.
because metrics is a huge thing. Like a business owner, it's your revenue, right? A salesperson, it's your close rate or how much you made this month.
Yep.
Hmm.
And the difficulty with that is what happens when it's not there.
Yeah, who are you then?
Hmm.
Because it's going to fluctuate and go up and down. That is certain.
Yep.
So then if your identity is attached to those numbers going up and down, then it's inevitable you're just going to be on a freaking roller coaster.
Precisely. Yeah.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, most entrepreneurs, that's what we do, is we put ourselves down the roller coaster and never see the way to get off.
Mhm. And
The cool,
salespeople, both.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I think of salespeople as entrepreneurs as well because you are working for yourself to a degree.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. I've always felt it as like a liminal space, somewhere in between.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm glad that I can be assistance, and I want to just make sure I touch on our last person here before I got to jump off.
Of course. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, my pleasure. Is it Kundan? Sorry on the pronunciation.
Hey, Rand. It's
Hey,
okay. It's okay.
how do you
How are you
pronounce it?
doing, brother?
I'm doing
It's
well.
Kundan.
Kundan, awesome, man. What can I help you with today? What's going on, business, personal, that's coming up, and let's dig into it.
Yeah, actually, I just had this one question that is bugging me.
Okay.
Yeah, the main thing I am focusing on right now is I am currently doing real estate sales,
Yep.
and I want to move to another sales job. Because of a lack of emotional interactions.
Okay.
Yeah, so like which job you suggest? Like, do you have anything in mind?
You want to, so you're asking me which job you should move to be in a more emotional connected position?
Yeah, like in real estate, I'm currently doing in investment, like selling investment for lands,
Hmm.
and they are not that much attached. Like, if they are not able to invest, then they can move to another something else.
Yeah. I would say it's not
Yeah,
for me,
so
not for me
like
to tell
if
you
let's
where
say
to go. What I would look within yourself and like, so what other spaces do you have skill sets that you can apply and achieve the outcome you're looking for?
yeah, actually I was thinking about coaching or job. These two where I am looking.
If you want to be into a space that has more emotional connection, like you want to be in the world of like health and fitness, something that's dealing with someone personally
Okay.
making a change versus someone just investing I guess in land.
Mhm.
Like more, like I would say more of a
Yes.
personal sale than an investment sale.
Okay.
But again, it's not for me to
Okay, so
not for me to tell you what job you should go
yes, yes,
after.
I totally get that. Yes,
So I would
I
ask
totally
like
get that, bro. But like,
what's the emotional connection that you're looking for that you don't have?
if we talk about like, let's say, I am being land for residential purpose also, but I speak to a lot of person. They tell me all their problems, like the bad property, like they invested in bad property, they got less returns. I probe into that, but after 2 3 days, they forget everything.
You're cutting out on
So
me
this
there.
is like I'm struggling.
You're
Okay,
cutting out on me
you
there,
hear me now?
a little bit. But actually, Autumn made a great point, and just that investments themselves can be very personal and emotional. It just might be the specific type of investment that you're operating in.
Okay.
You know, so like thinking of it like a lateral move.
So
But I think like on
okay,
a deeper
so
level, like it's
you
a
sell,
go ahead.
yeah, you sell using an EPQ, right?
Well, say that again.
You sell using an EPQ method, right?
Like I didn't get the last word.
NEPQ method. You are using it, right?
I'm personally, I'm not selling using any method right now. No.
Okay. Is there any particular reason for that?
Personally, the way that I approach sales is a little bit different with the work that I'm doing in the mental space. I don't really sell anything. I offer help to someone who needs it, and if it's the right fit, then it's the right fit. So it's a little bit different the way
Okay.
that way that I go about things for myself. But I think it's important to understand for you, like what's the emotional connection that you're missing that you want to have.
Okay. The emotional connection I'm looking for is like I want to merge them together. The investment, what the outcome they want, and how will they feel? These kind of questions I would like to ask them.
Have you asked them with the current people you're selling to now?
Yes, yes, I have asked them, but you know, some like most of them are like A type. Like you don't have to care about that. We will take care. You just show the property, and we will see if this is our fit or not. Like they are telling me like that.
Well, again, then I think like a some sort of lateral move into like you're selling to a different clientele that would have the emotional investment. Like if you're selling to someone or a business or a company that doesn't have the emotional investment in the outcome, which is, I guess, kind of hard because I think everyone has an emotional investment in the outcome. But a lateral
Yes.
move could be the place to go. And if your
Okay.
clientele that you're selling to is not answering those questions in the way that you like to have them answer it, I would try reorganizing the question more in a language that they would understand. Like if you're asking about their feelings, they might
Okay.
not talk about their feelings, but you can ask how it's going to affect them in different areas of their life. Like you can start to pull and open the door to the world of feelings without directly saying, how are you going to feel? Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, yeah. That totally makes sense.
Like that's what like, just
I
for your
need
specific
to.
question, like that's what I would recommend.
Hmm. I get it now, bro. Like I need to, do some chat GPTs and reframe my questions.
Well, I wouldn't do Chat GPT. I would just reframe your questions from yourself. Use that mind you get there.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it, brother. Like eventually I will find it, like what I need to say.
Yeah, like you get like the language that it sounds and this from again, this isn't sales training on this call, but it sounds like the language you're using isn't landing with the people that you're using it on. So I would, I guess using your talk about emotions, I would feel into the situation. feel into the conversation. What is the right language that's going to connect with this person? Because like asking them, like, I guess in the process of building rapport, you may identify some things about their personal life and their family that you could ask them about later on when it comes to the sale. That's going to bring about that emotional nature without actually asking them, how is this going to affect you emotionally?
Okay, got it, brother.
Make sense?
Yeah, yeah, that totally makes sense. I am using
All right.
currently Hindi language, so my English is little bit bad, you know.
Yeah, it's okay, man. Appreciate you being here. But yeah, I mean, try that out.
Yeah,
Let me know how it goes. And I would also like lean on the group, ask some people in there. There's got to be some people that are selling in the same space or you, or even the same environment area, and see what their feedback is.
okay, okay.
Sound
Thank
good?
you, Rand. Yeah,
All right. All right, I gotta take off, guys. Thank you so much. I hope everything was valuable for you, and always love to hear the updates. So hopefully you'll check in either in school or on the next call. Talk to you soon.
yeah. Thank you.